So Brian Lee came in and turned things round pretty fast, didn't he? Because he had to rebuild the side from the Amateur Cup side, and obviously building up to winning that first Isthmian League title for a long time in 1970-71, he must have brought in a lot of players. He must have had a lot of contacts in the game to build such a big side relatively quickly.
We had about, 4 players come from Sutton. Larry Pritchard, Ted Powell, Keith Blunt.
Some very, very good players. So he was able to...
Oh yeah, he had contacts.
To use his contacts in the non-league
game. Paul Birdseye, Mickey Holyfield, he got some really good players.
So he had contacts in other non-league clubs and through the Loughborough Colleges link. What was the Loughborough College? Had he worked there before? Is that where he came from, the Loughborough Colleges?
I don't know. I know he used to run the thing over at Bisham Abbey, didn't he? He was a sports director.
Yeah, that was later on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had all these contacts, and he managed to get all these great players in, pinching the players from some of the other...
John Delaney he got from Slough.
Yeah. So how do you think he managed to persuade all those players to come to Wycombe Wanderers? What was it that you don't know?
No. I ain't going to say anything about money, but
surely this is the opportunity to reveal. Were there any payments sort of going on? I mean, was there any influence?
Only expenses and stuff. Yeah. When we were contract players, then they could pay.
Later on, later mid-70s.
That's what I argued with Brian Lee about me subsidising all these top players what he was getting from outside. So
did they just come here because they thought that Brian Lee would bring success to the club then? Can that be the only reason?
I would think so.
So he convinced them that this was the place to come.
We had a terrific side.
And he was obviously proved right, because in 70-71 we did in fact win the league for the first time for quite a while, didn't we? And that was the start of 4 wins out of 5 of the Isthmian League title.
Oh yeah.
And
that was like a machine as regards to success.
Yeah.
And
do you remember winning the league that first time in 1970-71? Do you remember what it felt like?
Not really. As I said to you earlier, medals and that didn't mean nothing to me. The winning of it was the big thing, which is a longer job, isn't it? The winning of it.
I read a report saying about how Keith Searle left the club at the end of that season, and he went to Hayes, but then they threw him out through lack of effort, and he came back.
I don't think he liked it. But, he missed playing with me.
Yeah, so it was mainly he came back for you. Not
yeah, we're like lovers in winning. Whenever we meet now, we hug him. Yeah. We were a twosome.
A question I was going to ask you later on, but maybe now's the time. Who was the player you most enjoyed playing with?
Well, it would be him.
So Keith Searle is the answer to that by some distance, by the sound of it.
Yeah,
it was quite a team.
Yeah. But there was loads of other players: Mickey Holyfield, Larry Pritchard, John Delaney, in his heyday. He was a good centre half. And John Maskell, of course.
John Delaney always seemed like quite a scary-looking guy. I don't think people would have crossed him.
We played against him the year we went to Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. We played against him.
He went because he went to Bournemouth, didn't he?
They drew at Lowe's Park,
yeah.
We went down there and beat them 2-1.
That's right. Yeah. What was John Delaney like as a person? Not as scary as he looked.
No.
Was he in charge though? Was he the boss?
He used to think he was.
Right.
Yeah, he got a loud mouth, but nobody took any notice of him really.
Right. Okay. In coming back, I suppose, to Brian Lee and your relationship with him, I read an interesting report from November 1970 when we played Slough in the first round of the FA Cup. We drew the first match 1-1 at home. And Mike Weitzman, the Bucks Free Press reporter at the time, he raved about your performance.
Bodger holds the key to the replay.
It says,
I can remember that.
And in the match report, he said, nothing short of rope, tie and branding Tony Horseman will save Slough if the dynamo generates the same attacking power.
He dropped me.
Then Brian Lee dropped you for the replay, and we lost 1-0. The report of that replay, the headline said, was it Brian Lee's greatest clanger? FA Cup suicide. Horseman could have swung the replay. Tell us what was going on there.
I don't know, I think it was one of the... We had a little spat, and he used to try and punish you the best way he could, which was by not playing.
So he was basically telling you you're not bigger than the team, and he was in charge, putting you in your place.
I never thought I was bigger than the team anyway, but I used to say what I thought and stuff like that. Outspoken. My wife was outspoken on the replay for that as well.
Really?
She went up to him afterwards and said, serve you right.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was
the first time she'd ever got involved.
So it was quite bitter spat then, really.
That was, yeah.
And it did
yeah.
It did backfire on him, really.
If I remember rightly, the bloke who gave a penalty away, didn't he? They won 1-0 away.
We lost the game 1-0, yeah.
And the supporters, Les Hartridge.
Yeah.
And in the bar afterwards, he'd come in the bar and we were having a drink and that, and these 3 blokes who supported Wycombe every week, they went up to Les and said, they ought to change your name to Partridge and shoot you. It did. It was quite funny, really.
Okay, in 71-72, obviously we got to the semi-final of the Amateur Cup, which was a
big disappointment.
Absolutely massive game. I think I was on one of 70 odd coaches that went over to Brentford from Wycombe, and never has one crowd been dominated by one side so much. It looked like about 95% of the crowd are from Wycombe. How do you remember that day, and what obviously a massive disappointment it was?
It was, very disappointing. That was one amateur player's ambition, was to play at Wembley. And we thought we could do it, but we disappointed ourselves. They got a fluky goal, but...
Yeah, Johnny Hutchinson scored a great goal, didn't he, that day? But we lost 2-1.
Paul Deadman, I think it was.
Peter Deadman, that's right, yeah, for Hendon, yeah.
He got a ricochet from somebody and it went past Mask.
Yeah.
And,
What was it like being in the dressing room after that game?
Not good.
No. Because as you say, the Amateur Cup then was it was much bigger than like the FA Trophy was for us all those years later. Getting to Wembley, the Amateur Cup was a much bigger thing at the time, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It
was good. It was good playing in cup games then, but I mean, the FA Cup when we played Middlesbrough was even better.
Yeah, which was obviously a couple of seasons later. As you referred earlier, we beat John Delaney's Bournemouth in the second round. Tell us a little bit about your memories of that cup run, because of course the Middlesbrough game was on the big match on the Sunday, wasn't it?
That's
the TV cameras down there, massive build up,
I can remember quite a bit about that. I mean, Delaney, I got a feeling Delaney dropped out of the replay.
Did he?
He played at Wycombe.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he didn't play down there.
All right, yeah.
We won 2-1. Steve Perrin and I scored the goals. And we went on the Eamon Andrews show on TV.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Champagne and stuff. Yeah.
And that was before the Middlesbrough game or after the Middlesbrough game?
Before the Middlesbrough game.
Right, yeah. So remember...
They were sort of, are you looking forward to playing? And then we drew at Loads Park with Middlesbrough. Jack Charlton was great.
Yeah.
He come in and he bought us champagne and said, you've drawn on your own sloping pitch, but when you come to Ayresome Park, you're going to get a real good hiding.
Yeah, he really said he was going to thrash them up there, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's right.
But they didn't.
It took a very late winner, didn't it?
That's right.
To lose 1-0 in the replay.
The only trouble with that was I was sort of coming to the end of my career, and sort of on the verge of sort of getting to the age where it was becoming a bit too much.
Yeah.
And I was substituted. Dylan Evans.
Yeah.
He was subby, come on. But it was a good game. We gave them a good go. They won 1-0 in front of about 33,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, it was really, it was something to look back on and say, well, I was part of that. It was good for the
Yeah,
club.
I remember listening to the last few minutes on the radio, on BBC Radio, when Middlesbrough scored their winning goal. Yes.
Well, they were top then, weren't they?
They were top of the league. That's right.
Yeah.
Top of the first division as it was then at the time. Yeah. So they were.
Yeah.
They weren't. There was a
I
very
can
very
remember
difficult
sitting
draw.
at the bar and having a drink with Graham Souness, because he played for them.
Yes, he wasn't the captain, was he? But he was playing for them. I think Stuart Bone was the captain, wasn't he?
Yeah, big, massive centre.
They're all big and massive, weren't they, in that team? I think.
But I could still beat him in the air. Yeah, at Lowe's Park, I beat him a few times. I thought, well, you ain't as big as you think you are.